You may be seated.
Inside my head saying you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. The struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments that I'm gonna remember most. Yeah, just gotta keep going, and I got to be strong. Just keep pushing on. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Keep the faith, 'cause it's all about the climb.
Welcome to the 2021 Central Community School District Commencement Ceremony. I'd like to thank everyone for attending and celebrating the accomplishments of Central's class of 2021. I'd also like to personally thank the Central School Board, Mr. Reinhardt, Mrs. Walsh, Mr. Wiley, Mr. Douglas, Mr. Thomas, Central's maintenance staff, and the many volunteers who helped put this event together. While we are here to celebrate our graduating seniors and what they have accomplished in their time at Central, those accomplishments would not have been possible without a committed group of educators. This commitment was highlighted in the 2021 school year, with Central making the choice to provide 5 days a week in-person learning to our students, as well as a remote option for those parents who were not comfortable sending their children to school during a pandemic. Without training, our teachers and staff rose to the occasion by embracing new technologies and instructional practices to offer a blended learning style. If I could have all Central staff and school board members please stand to be recognized for your heroic efforts over this past school year. It is now my honor to introduce our two senior speakers, Macy Kuzner and Hazel Lone.
Hello, my name is Hazel Lone.
And I'm Macy Kleesner.
Before we begin, we would like to thank all the people who helped our class make it to graduation, because it was a challenge for us, and we would not have been able to do it without the guidance and support of others.
We would like to thank our teachers and staff members for their guidance, wisdom, and kindness with the academic endeavors as well as in our personal lives.
Thanks to our families for their support, love, encouragement in our times of struggle and success.
Thank you to the generous people in our community who have contributed to our class with their time, materials, and wisdom.
Lastly, we would like to thank you, our classmates, for pushing each other in the classroom, standing up for what's right, and allowing one another to cheat off your paper when they need a little extra help.
Without the accumulation of all of you, we would not be here today. We would not be who we are today. Our time and experiences at Central have helped shape us to be the class of 2021 that stands before you today. For all the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Changing our past at this school would change the confident, hardworking, and successful people we have all become today. When you take a look back into our past with us, I hope you remember all the great times we have had together, and realize how your past has had an impact on you, on all of us. So without further ado, let us do a little recollecting of the memories from the amazing class of 2021.
We entered freshman year with a target on our backs. At that time, we had the reputation as being one of the most annoying classes that have ever walked the halls of Central. We terrorized fellow students with phrases like, "Yeah boy," "flip the table," and of course, "It's Wednesday, my dudes." One could say our maturity level was about as good as a kindergartner.
But over time, karma caught up with us. One of us got slammed in the wrestling room and broke an arm. Another blew up the science lab and exploded boiling oil all over herself. And another trusted Mr. Koresh to drift on the golf cart homecoming night, and shortly after was sent to the emergency room to get stitches. All of this just in freshman year, and we had 3 more years to go. Welcome to high school.
Due to the accident in the lab, I will carry the scars I have with me for the rest of my life. They are a reminder of my error in judgment. They are a constant reminder of my past, but also how I can move forward.
Throughout high school, more things changed than just our parents' mental bills. Seriously, we were in class to have a different English teacher every year to show our talents to, like sneaking in a second iPad to play World of Tanks. Or sharing about our weekends to postpone actual learning. This privilege was taken away once Strammer quickly realized what we were up to, and Tommy couldn't say anything appropriate.
We have also had our fair share of math teachers. Thank goodness for Mrs. Nemechek for being the greatest substitute math teacher we have ever had. And Miss Schmeling for coming fresh out of college, stepping up, and saving the day. She helped us to understand that great things can come from unfavorable situations.
On top of teacher changes, our class had to deal with a new grading system that is extremely hard and painful to explain to any of our elders. A new principal who kept our class in line when we tried pushing the limits. School construction that brought new levels of annoyance, and of course a pandemic, which tried to derail us off our path to our goal of graduating here together. but failed miserably.
Along the way, we have changed and grown. We went from kids cracking jokes while listening to 50 Shades of Hunger to James and I finally tolerating each other enough that we could share a dance at prom. That in itself is unimaginable.
Speaking of changes, our own Evan Pencil went from competitively eating black beans and puking for a bribe of tickets to stepping up and hitting clutch shots in basketball games when the team needed it most.
Anna Hochschild decided she had lost enough teeth down at the playground and went on to state speech to win numerous awards for her talent. Maria was once known for peeing on the side of the road during a middle school cross-country practice, but now she's going to be a future military wife.
CJ Polkinghorn went from looking like Arthur on PBS Kids to a full-grown man. If you don't believe me, just ask a little elementary kid who was asked to give a gift to Mr. Unger, but instead walked up to CJ, who was sitting right next to him.
You all may know McKenna as one of the stars of the Stellar Shuttle Hurdle team, but you may not know that she actually participated in cross country at the JV level all 4 years. That was a part of a pact we made together. Madison Sylvester went from offering insight on her future and the kind of child she would someday like to have, to being a friendly dietary aide at the local care center to help you build the future she wanted.
Change is important. It is essential. Without it, we would be considered insane, performing the same thing over and over again. But we have, and it is shown in each and every person in this class. Some of us, however, have made some pretty interesting choices, and as to why we couldn't tell you. And of course, we will not let them go unnoticed. Maybe one of the greatest examples is when James decided to spike a football in the homecoming game after running in for a touchdown. Maybe it was because he was angry for sharing a crown that night with some of the other kids. Nonetheless, we all know Dan Barons loved commentating the action anyways.
By the way, does anyone know that Brenna hit a Walmart employee with her car? Yeah, I didn't either.
In practice, Abinette will always go in for a wide open layup, attempt a fancy finger roll, and miss almost every single time. Even though he knows Springer will get on the skates about it every single time. Thankfully, we never had to run for that, otherwise we'd be the greatest conditioned basketball team you've ever seen.
As we grow, we learn forgiveness is vital throughout life, which is exactly what Maddie Willie had to do when Aaron Berger bit her on the shoulder in the 2nd grade. As her best friend, Abby Cummer would say, Abby Cummer don't find that funny.
Speaking of Maddie, one day she got tired of her anatomy class, so she decided to slam her head into the book. If I'm gonna guess, that probably woke her and the rest of the class, right?
Although we have made some questionable decisions as a class, they are all memories and we can look back and say, yeah, let's not do that again. Like Izzy Kane showing up to prom with no paperwork done. We all live and we learn. Without making mistakes, we wouldn't have changed. Now that we have finished discussing our questionable decisions, let's uncover some hidden talents. Know each and every one of these talents define people, and whether or not they choose to obtain these talents, they define who we are as individuals.
Mr. Cameron Lawson is a so-called meme god in his free time. But in all seriousness, is a walking history encyclopedia, especially when the class starts talking about historic weaponry.
Andy is a dedicated, hard worker who has spent his entire high school career working out on the farm. While he has an endless amount of excuses for the classroom, he never makes an excuse to not show up to work.
I had the privilege of taking 3 years of English and a creative writing class with Miss T. Hansel. I know she's not here today, but I figured we still talk about her because she's been with us for 4 years. Over this time, I learned how talented she is at composing a story with a unique writing style no one else could
Luke Ash is a natural outdoorsman who could survive on nothing but a fishing rod and, of course, Fortnite.
Parker Smith, aka Big Tuba, is a great mechanic who can take care of all your Subaru needs.
Kennedy will continue to serve older people until she is one herself. Allie will continue to make random hilarious comments and ask just as funny questions because the world wouldn't be as fun without her, especially in the realm of statistics class.
And how could we forget Keegan Brown, a guy who could sit and tell you everything you ever wanted to know about Grand Theft Auto 5.
Do you remember your parents or teachers challenging you to a match in the quiet game? I guarantee you Tatum Burrows would win every time.
Back in elementary school, Ava Pencil and Brittany Teaton used to sing Blown Away by Carrie Underwood in the class to show off their vocals. Nearly everyone here probably knows the lyrics to that song after their many, many performances. Over time, Ava decided to walk in the footsteps of one of her favorite icons, Harry Styles, and split up the group, leaving Brittany all alone. Brittany has proven the split did nothing but motivate her, becoming a prominent voice that represents the school choir.
Nicole is great at working with children. She has shown her enthusiasm as an SOS for the kindergarten for the last 2 years and will continue as she goes to college pursuing elementary education. Austin Starr showed us his customer service skills with help with the Central Perk, and he will continue this when he applies at Norby's.
Haley Mahoney can change her hair style and color within the blink of an eye.
Our class has the true ability for being able to adapt and overcome. I don't think these skills were developed alone though. We've learned from each other and those around us. Together we have grown and changed.
After stepping back and taking a look at the memories, questionable decisions, and talents of our class, please embrace all of it. Take what you have learned and experienced from Central Community Schools and bring it out into the world with you. Whether you're heading off to college or going straight into the workforce, remember what you have learned from the past. Know that your talents are needed out in the world and use them to help others. There's no doubt in my mind there's a successful group of students sitting in front of me. You have all done great things here, and I know you will wherever life's journey takes you.
It's been a long road, and we've walked down it together, learning, growing, and becoming the people we are today. And that's what we'll keep doing. We may not be together, but we'll keep on the road of growing. So many of us have changed already, and we'll keep changing in the people we are meant to be, knowing that Central is where we got our start. In conclusion, class of 2021, go out into the world and slam 'em!
Cut back to follow. So first I want to thank the school board for allowing me the honor to speak on their behalf. Next I'd like to thank every student at Central, their families, their teachers, staff, and administration. It seems crazy all the extreme highs and lows we experienced this year. It's all worth it when we're celebrating the graduating class. I'd like to take a few minutes to discuss the chapters of life. You have written chapters in your life, and you'll be writing several more chapters in the future. In a few moments, as I'd like you to turn your attention to the scoreboard, there's no time left. We're in the fourth quarter, and there's no timeouts. When we cross the stage in a few minutes, one of those chapters will come to an end, and a new one will begin. When you reflect on this chapter, how do you feel this chapter of your life was written? Would you have written, would you have changed anything if you could go back? Do you have no regrets? No matter what the answer is, we cannot change the past, and we can learn from those experiences. Make the most of every day, words. Make the most of every week, sentences. Make the most of every month, paragraphs. And make the most of every year, pages. Life is full of twists and turns, for better or worse, so make that every moment count. And make every relationship that you come across and the people that you meet and share your life with, always embrace the rewards when you fought through the struggle. When you get the result you wanted and went through the process. Be in love with the fight, not just the victory. Understand each chapter in this future can be as long as you want or as short as you want. It is up to you to define that chapter and how it is written. When you write these chapters and culminate into your book called Life, how will you define success? Let me give you a few examples. In 1983, way before your time, one of the greatest guitar players of all time was kicked out of a band right before a contract. Back then, getting signed was no small feat. His anger fueled his ambitions, and revenge was his passion. The guitarist's name was Dave Mustaine. After he was kicked out, he went through some hard times, but he was determined to be successful, and he started his own band, Megadeth. In many eyes, he was considered to be one of the most brilliant and influential musicians in heavy metal music. Sold over 25 million albums worldwide. Unfortunately, he was kicked out of Metallica. For that, he himself considered himself a failure, even though he made millions of dollars and thousands of fans. Sometimes in life, you'll be kicked out. Pick yourself up. Find purpose. Find your way. So don't define yourself by the band you're in. Another example in 1962. Some of your parents and grandparents will appreciate this. There was a buzz around an up-and-coming band from Liverpool, England. John, the lead singer, Paul, the bass player, George, the guitar player, and Peter, the drummer. Some of you are scratching your head right now. The Beatles. Peter, the unknown Beatle, was fired literally before the first record deal was involved in the recording for no reason. His replacement was Ringo Starr. Peter Best then fell into a deep depression and a rough life for several years until he met his wife and later had kids. Peter Best, in an interview in 1994, stated that he was happier now than if he was been in the Beatles. He would have never met his wife and never would have had his kids. Sometimes in life, you will find yourself in a hole. Find your way out. There's a reason for everything. Someday, you will see that reason. Lastly, I want to tell you about a basketball team that is arguably the best. I will say, is the best. With arguably the best player of all time. Scotty, a small kid from a small college in Central Arkansas. Dennis, who's Dennis, JUCO player. Kerr, no offers. And then one name that always rings true in basketball, Michael. Michael was cut from his varsity team. If you don't guess by now, Chicago Bulls. A few conclusions I draw from this. When you surround yourself with like-minded people and the same goal, great things happen. Build and be a part of the team. Lastly, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. So in conclusion, what does your future hold? Where will you be and what will you do? If you do not feel that you can change the world, look at how one person changed the world by eating a bat or letting a virus out of a lab. Tell me that didn't impact the world. That one person changed the world forever. I hope you can change the world in a very different way, of course. Always understand you can and will make a difference at some point in your next chapters. Make it be impactful in a positive way. You can change your community, you can change your state, you can change the United States, you can change the world. I know you will. You already have. You have a great start because very soon you're Central graduates. Congratulations, class of 2021. Thank you.
afternoon. Sometimes you know the answer before you ask the question, huh? Something I think we've all learned a lot about lately is perspective. Two people viewing the same thing with two very different interpretations. The past few weeks, many people have asked, where are you having graduation this year? The answer always seems to be the football field. For some, likely those from a decade or more ago, the answer would be center field. And they too would be correct in their answer. Hazen and Macy's words brought back many memories for all of us. For me, the biggest memory is who you all were when I first met you. A lot has changed since then. I would echo your classmates' words and how proud we all are of who you are today. As I reflect on the road traveled and how we got here, the phrase 4-year plans keeps coming to mind. Since entering high school, this has been a focus. Think about where you want to be, figure out how you'll get there, and then develop a plan for your time in high school that will accomplish that. The plan was revisited every semester, and your parents reviewed it annually. That plan is now complete, as Mr. Finley just referenced. Now you're transitioning into what is now maybe a 60 or 70-year plan. This is hoping us to imagine how long that would take to enter into Career Navigator. As you prepare for that, I want to share some takeaways for your high school time that can be applied to this part of your life. Number 1, adapt your plan to new information. When you first created your high school plan, you never would have imagined we'd be having graduation outside. Unexpected things happened, we found a better plan that we liked better. Be willing to learn from anyone. With your high school plan, you talk to other students, took advice from teachers, and researched post-high school options. Taking information from many sources, determine how that applies to you. And number 3, always remember the lessons learned in school, such as the ones Hazen and Macy commented on. Might find yourself regretting something you said, but don't let that define you. Small, consistent efforts over time can bring big changes. Macy said 4 years ago you felt others thought you were, in her words, annoying, the word she used. But yet I have never heard anyone say that about you guys. Some of the best lessons learned can come from the most unexpected sources. Hazen commented on your sophomore English teacher. The teacher set his expectations and was consistent in upholding them. Many lessons were learned. You are undoubtedly better off because of the experience. And at the end of the day, as sophomores in high school, you learned a lot from an elementary teacher. My list was 3 short items long. I encourage you to take some time to develop your own list of major lessons learned so far in life. Write them down and apply them as you move forward. In a few minutes here, we're going to be walking out of here as high school graduates, so I have 4 rhetorical questions for you. Answer them to yourself and answer them often. What do you want to accomplish? How are you going to do that? How will you know when you have accomplished it? And possibly the most important one, how will you respond if you don't? Class of 2021, thank you for the memories. At this time, we have significant achievements to recognize. Students will be recognized for their work in achieving any of the following 4 accomplishments: Red Cord recipients, Silver Cord recipients, National Honor Society, and Honors Diploma. The Red Cord is given by the American Red Cross to students who donated blood at least 4 times or volunteered a minimum of 8 hours at blood drives. Silver Cord is given to students who log 25 volunteer hours each year of high school for a total of 100 or more volunteer hours in their 4 years of high school. National Honor Society membership is based on each student's body of work in the areas of scholarship, service, leadership, and personal character. And finally, the Honors Diploma is awarded to students who met all course requirements, earned a cumulative grade point average of 3 3/10 or higher, and an ACT composite score of 23 or higher. Graduates, as I read your name, please stand and be seated when your recognition is complete. Luke Ash, Red Cord, National Honor Society. Brenna Buckman, Red Cord, National Honor Society. Abigail Cummer, Red Cord, National Honor Society. McKenna Yoster, National Honor Society. Macy Kleesner, Red Cord, Silver Cord, National Honor Society, Honors Diploma. Hazen Lone, Red Cord, National Honor Society, Honors Diploma. Maria Medberry, Red Cord, National Honor Society. CJ Polkinghorn, Red Cord, National Honor Society. Nicole White, Red Cord, National Honor Society. We will now begin awarding diplomas. Lucas Joseph Ash. Tyler Bailey. Aaron James Berger. Brenna Kirsten Marie Buckman. Kennedy Ann Bowman. Tatum Marie Burrows. Abigail Catherine Cummer. James Allen Eberhardt. Andrew William Fangman. Carl D. Gardner. Anna Elizabeth Louise Hochschild. Allie Hanesi Hackert. McKenna Jolana Yoster. Macy Ellen Kleesner. Isabel Kane. Adam Michael Koresh. Abinat Lammers. Cameron Lawson. Hazen Anthony Lone. Haley Elizabeth Mahoney. Maria Rayanne Medberry. Ava Marie Hensel. Evan Joseph Hensel. Clarence John Hall Pokinghorn. Thomas G. Sealand. Austin James Starr. Madison Jean Sylvester. Brittany Lynn Teeden. Nicole Elizabeth White. Madeline Marie Willie. Graduates, please rise and prepare for the tassel turning ceremony. Would the family representatives please join the graduate and wait for my directions? To signify the graduation from Central High School, please turn the graduate's tassel to the left. Family representatives may be seated. Get a little closer so I can take a picture. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Central Community School District's Board of Directors, I present to you Central's class of 2021.
We're lined up. Yep.
Guests are invited to join us for a reception line along the west fence. Thank you for coming today.